everyone, it's Jenny here from Jen Skinner Art. Hi everyone, it's Jenny here from Jen Skinner Art. Even though my household's been locked down with COVID over the Christmas New Year period, I've been quite busy working on some of my Christmas gifts. And this particular one is one I've been after for a long time, Book Nook. And I'm almost at the point of finishing it, so I thought I'd show you a few of the little techniques and steps that I've undergone in order to get this far, and hopefully we'll be able to finish it together. So where I'm at the moment is completing some more of these miniature little books. So if I can get I'm not sure if it will focus in for you. So these are actually faux books, these particular ones, and I do have over here, I have quite a few actual miniature books that have the pages in them. So if you had a magnifying glass, you'd be able to read that. They're over here in the area that I'm working on at the moment. Accidentally I cut up one of the books, and I'll just show you here. So this is a concertina, and not all the pages are there because I've already cut them off, but basically it's the old-fashioned fold technique for making a fan, as we did when we were kids, when it was hot. So the trick with the accordion folds or the fan folds is to make sure that these edges are in line, and then what you end up with is a little book full of pages. So I'll quickly finish folding this one. If you have trouble lining up your edges, you can always get something that is square and fold into it. For example, what have I got? There's a little square here. I could fold and make sure that my edges are all lined up and square. Or if I had a square ruler, I could do the same. But with lots and lots of practice, you get pretty good at keeping them all in line. So I'll just do the last two folds here and here. Now this one isn't a complete book, however, I think I've got a spare cover. I have a spare cover, so I could in fact still put it in. I might have to make the cover, I might have to trim it down just a little bit. Okay, so I've folded along the spine. Here we go. So now I've got a little book like that, and then I grab some of my glue. I have two types here. I have a watered down PVA that I use sometimes, that I've decanted into this smaller bottle, and then for the trickier things I've got the E6000. But what we'll do here is get a little bit of the Sullivans and just run a generous bit in the spine. Oops. I tend to just rub it over with my finger. We make sure our book's the right way up and our cover, and we slip them in, and then I would weight that down until it's dried. So if you're quick, you can manipulate the cover around until you get it in the right position. And then what I do with all my books is before they go into the library itself, I get a little bit of my vintage photo distressed ink and I rub them all the way around the edges and just make it look a little bit more distressed. And this one's pretty even, but if for some reason the ends aren't level because you were a little bit skewed, you can use a little bit of sandpaper and just flatten off the two ends. You can't do it with the front because the fronts of the pages are a fold. You can only do it on the ends. And add a little bit more of the distress stain. Coffee would work too. Tea would be a little bit more yellow, but you could do that. And then if you feel like there's still some white showing, you can actually open up the pages in your book and distress those. I can see one little bit here I want to cover. So there we have it, one very tiny little book ready to go into the bookshelf. So I'm going to put that there. These little pages were the ones that I had cut off, but they've got interesting, I don't know if I can get the focus, they've got interesting photos in them. So I thought I would keep these little ones aside because they could end up being pictures on a wall. So my intention, and I can do it now, is just to cut them up. That one's got some text I probably won't use. Again, I can just rub around the outside edges. This little dauber was new when I started and it's all perishing now. It's done heaps and heaps of little pictures and book covers. Alright, so now how do we get to this point with our faux books? So these are little pieces of chipboard that I've had to press out of the kit. So all the pieces come, I guess they're steel cut or laser cut in these frames. You can see the lines here. These will just snap out. So I've only got a couple of pieces left that I need to pull out. And then when I did them, there were 61 of these faux little pieces, and all of them had tiny little catches on them from where they were anchored into the frame. So I've actually gone around all four sides of 61 books with the sandpaper, so you can do your maths on that one. And now I've just got the last few to complete. So what I'm doing here is folding on the spine. Alright, so I'll quickly do that. Again, you want the top and bottom edges here to be fairly level. And with these darker ones, I had to leave the folding until I had plenty of light. Like now I don't have enough light where I sit at night to have been able to see where to fold accurately. So these ones have been waiting here for me. This paper feels a fraction heavier than a photocopying paper, but not by much. And it's got a tiny bit of a sheen to it, so slightly glossier than what I would normally purchase just for normal photocopying. So So I'm not actually sure what the GSM is, but more than 90 anyway. So I think I have 9 of these little ones to go. It's up to you. Sometimes I prefer to just do it like this, a whole heap of folding all at once. And then other times I'll do it one by one, but mostly this is the way I'll do it. So I have all my little pieces here. So I'm going to open them up. Make sure I've got my fold, get my glue, put a generous amount in the spine, run all the way around, wipe with my finger, and then slip in the little piece of MDF, and we've got moments to get these in the right spot. Now it's totally up to you. You can flatten these right out, so pressing on the spine, or if you want to, you can leave a slight curve. Alright, that's one done. Let's see how quickly we can get through the next 8. Okay, so we've just finished all the books. Now what we need to do is preferably let them dry a little bit longer, but you have a look at each book and just see if you've got any of the white paper still showing that you can just take off gently with a nail file. So you don't want any of the cover in this instance overhanging. It is best to wait until this is fully dry, because otherwise it can lift up off the form. But anyway, you go around all three sides again with the file, and then lastly you come back to your distress stain and you do all the edges once more. And then if you like, if you want to make it more antique, you can rub it along the spine a little on the cover itself. So each little book gets handled a lot of times before it goes into the actual diorama that we're making. And all of these books here have been sanded, I believe. No, a couple of them haven't. So I'll finish sanding each of these and finish staining them, and then I had to make a decision: do I glue all my books in, or do I leave them all loose and run the risk of them falling out? So I've decided on a little bit of a compromise, and what I'm going to do is have all the books that actually have pages that can be turned. I'm going to at this point leave those loose in here, and then all the faux books done with the MDF and the covers, they're the ones that I'm going to glue in. Going through these extra steps takes time, but it does also give you another point of checking that everything's glued down properly and the book is in the best condition it can possibly be. There's one book I'll show you that's coming up. You can probably, oh, I don't know, maybe you can't see it as well on my pink base, but one of the books was very light. So here we go, Madame Bovary, and it was standing out in the actual book nook itself, so I have generously put the vintage photo stain on any of the books that had this particular cover on it. So it's still brighter than some of the others, but it's not going to stand out as much now when it's slipped in. that little one I want to paint. They're all done. And now I just need to glue them into little stacks in here. I want to have these books laying down, or whether I want to have all my books standing up. And I would prefer to have them all standing up, I think. Now, this one here is a page turning book, and so is that one from memory. Yep, I'm going to put them in there. Oh, look at all of those books. Page turning, page turning, page turning. There's a page turning one as well, I think, yeah. Wonder if it can maybe go in there. Wonder if you can actually buy the little MDF forms for books without buying a whole set. That's a page turning book. Oh, that is gorgeous. I know it's very full. Almost ready to put it together.